welcome back to the show. We're glad you're watching on our social media segments today with Joy Chelagat. We're talking about the war, Facebook versus Twitter. Who prefers what and why? It is an interesting conversation because Facebook seems to have has been around longer. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it has.
It has. And Twitter coming up, but also grabbing quite the attention. And it is interesting to be able to see what people have to say on both the social networks. And I like the graphic, which we're going to be seeing in a short while, you know, Twitter versus Facebook. There you have it. And so several people were asked about this, and of course in a short while as well we'll listen to what they had to say. But your thoughts on Twitter and Facebook and your interaction with both of the networks?
Well, Facebook, as you said, was the first one to kind of hit big in Kenya because, you know, everyone was getting on Facebook, uploading their photos, finding all these friends from high school who they hadn't met in quite a while. And it was a very lively page, you know, for guys to go and post all these photos of theirs.
Yeah.
When Twitter came in to Kenya, people were still trying to understand it because the interface is very different from what Facebook has, and trying to compress all these sentences you used to have to 140 characters. But we found that in Kenya, Kenyans are really embracing Twitter. Although still, as you look, if you look at the Alexa statistics of which social media pages come top in Kenya, of all the websites visited in Kenya, Google is first, followed by Facebook. And when we go all the way down to number 7, that's where you find Twitter. So yes, Twitter is gaining popularity, but it still hasn't reached where Facebook is.
It hasn't reached where Facebook is. Let's have a listen at what Kenyans went out to seek comments, and this is what they had to say on what they prefer, Facebook or Twitter.
Facebook nowadays is it's just overrated. You know, school kids are mostly they're most of the time.
I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on Twitter. Yeah, I use Facebook for chatting with friends. Yeah, knowing more about my friends, about how they live, where they come from.
Facebook situmii sana kwa sababu kidogo WhatsApp iko more convenient kwa Facebook, kwa sababu Facebook watu wametumia mbaya.
All right. So for Twitter, what makes it perhaps not too popular with Kenyans, it's a bit different because Twitter, people need to follow you.
Yes. People were saying that, you know, on Facebook, it's so easy to get all these many friends because just friend request.
Right.
But when it comes to Twitter, you know, if you're not a bigwig or a personality who everyone wants to follow, it's really hard to get the following. Then some people are saying that Twitter is harder to use because they don't understand the whole concept. You know, Facebook and Twitter have completely different ways of working. So someone is so used to Facebook post, I know my pictures are here and all these things are here. But when they come to Twitter, they're wondering, okay, so what is a retweet? What is a favorite? How do I go about it? So that's where most of the comments on KTN's Facebook page, when you ask people, most people are saying, Twitter interface is really hard to use.
Right. And here are some of the comments. You have Philip saying Facebook because it's easy to access. You meet with many friends as possible. Lucy says, Niko Twitter, but who calls you Nikanangi? And it's pretty much what you're saying. I just passed by to check who followed who, and then they followed each other and why. So for most people, especially just general public, they will follow very many people, but nobody will be hearing what they're saying because for them to know what you're saying, they have to be following you.
Yes, and I think that's where the challenge is, because you'll find that, and many KOT, you'll find that KOT person, they are following like 100 or more people, maybe probably 1,000 people, then they have only 100 followers. And they kind of feel like, you know what, I look like I'm a pauper in this thing. So they prefer to go to Facebook where, you know, I friend you, you accept or you don't accept, we're cool.
Right. And those of the sentiments that who prefer Twitter say that there's a mature crowd there compared to Facebook. Is that a sentiment you see where it comes from?
The sentiment comes out quite a lot, but I think it's because what people, it's coming down to what Kenyans are using Twitter for.
Right.
You're finding a lot of Kenyan companies are using Twitter for customer service. You'll find that a lot of people are now, you know, when something doesn't work, you can contact the company in particular. You can even talk to your government officials, you know. And because all these government officials and all these government accounts and all these corporates are there, people find that, you know, sometimes your discussion tends to go towards rather serious topics. But KOT also have their moments, and we know them, where they trend things and you're wondering. Like yesterday, we were saying ugly people are nice was trending on Twitter.
Yes.
It actually trended more than the State of the Nation. It was #1, State of the Nation was #2. So I mean, it goes both ways. You have the KOT who trend things that are completely not serious, but then there are times when you find very serious discussions on Twitter.
And quite a lot of what I'm seeing, the comments we got from Twitter and Facebook, there's a lot of that maturity and what you get, excuse me, on both platforms. But the thing is, in terms of what it gives you, the experience as a person online, what would you say? Is it the same? What are the differences? Which one perhaps is better?
In terms of social, I think Facebook is more social than Twitter, in the sense that Facebook allows you to talk as much as you want. It allows you to post all these photos and videos, and people don't have time to online. You don't have the chance to game online on Twitter, but you can have all these online games and compete with your friends on Facebook. So Facebook has quite a lot of applications that tend to be more social than Twitter does. But when it comes to Twitter, you'll find that it's faster, it's snappy. The images don't appear as big block images. You get like a link, and you can click on the link and see the image in full. So Twitter, actually, it's faster, it's breezier because of the brevity of the characters that you're allowed to use, and also because of the layout. So it's faster, it's breezier, but it can be equally as social, but snappy social, but not like long, 500 words about how I'm feeling today kind of social.
I must say I'm biased to Twitter. I like it more. I prefer that. But in terms of messaging, you have the privacy in that on both.
Yes, both of them have the privacy. Both of them have an option of you to share content that you approve of. Both of them allow you to kind of personalize your page a bit, with the cover photos, with the headers and all that. But I think the main difference, is in how we use it, and also in the brevity. And then also the other thing that people really like with Twitter is you have an opportunity to meet up and discuss with people who would not ever friend you. I may never be friended by Uhuru Kenyatta, but I can chat with him about something. I may never be friended by someone from the US, some great celebrity, but I can tweet them and they can retweet me. So that's one of the sentiments that people kind of like on Twitter, that it kind of levels the playing field, because you can have direct access of some sort to this person, whether or not they choose to acknowledge you.
And there's also, of course, the aspect of blocking, because we know there are very annoying people out there who will either be insulting you all the time or just saying inappropriate things to you. So on both platforms you can control that.
Yes, on both platforms you can actually block people. However, people can still continue to mention you again on both platforms, even if you block them off. The only thing is that probably wouldn't show, but they can still continue to say, oh, this person X, even though they have blocked me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And we're seeing even the older generation, more of them, my mother, the likes, would be on Facebook.
Yes, my dad is actually my friend on Facebook.
Oh my God. How does that play out? Are you more careful when you're posting?
Well, not really. My dad is a pretty cool guy, so it's fine, but yes. My friends are more careful on what they post now, because I remember there was a time I posted a photo, then all of them started commenting, and my dad commented, and after that, all the comments ended. It's like no one wants to say anything after her dad has said something. But that's another thing that most people are complaining about, that you find old creepy people on Facebook sometimes, or you can find little kids who have, get on Facebook, and it tends to be sometimes, it's very hard to actually feel at ease on Facebook, because now there's a whole family tree. Oh, Nani's your sister. So sometimes when you get pissed off and you want to post something, the whole family can just see, oh, Nani's going through problems, all these phone calls. So people prefer Twitter for the relative privacy. Something very interesting, there was a time we were at a social media training, and the gentleman who was training us is really plugged in with the Facebook team, and they said that Facebook aims to be your truest online identity. And if you realize right now, when you go to many of these blogs and you want to comment, there's an option of signing in via Facebook, because they want to be your truest online identity.
And of course there's also what's been trending and happening on social media across the board. One of them is that sock.
Oh yes.
Our governor, the Nairobi governor's sock torn, and we have the picture. We want to have a look at it. And what were people saying about that?
I mean, everyone was asking Kidero, with all the money you've
Look at that. I know.
He's going for the launch of some spa. So I think when he was taking off his shoe, the torn sock was just the biggest chat. And everyone was like, Kidero. And Nairobians were bashing Kidero, telling him how you've ashamed us. How can you not buy socks? And they're telling him how the socks are such cheap prices. And you can't buy a new pair of socks. Then there was a team that bashed his wife. Told his wife, how do you let your husband leave the house like that? Honestly. So
did she apologize? She apologized.
Yes, she apologized and said that probably he leaves the house like at 5:30. Sometimes she doesn't have the time to inspect him. And my personal sentiment was like, how do you check on a grown man? I mean, this guy's been dressing himself for how many years? So yeah, so
and they also should just not be in his drawer, the torn ones. That there should be some sort of, going through to find out what's in the drawer. Is it torn? Does it need changing?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, so she apologized, and then he apologized for embarrassing her. So the whole discussion was like, okay, Kidero. Then his wife apologizes. Yeah. And interesting, Love Michuki had the same.
Exactly. I was about to say it's not the first time you're seeing a sock situation. Yes. So yeah, perhaps all women want to check out their husband's socks and they don't embarrass each other. But that was not the only story that was trending off. A sad one, of course, was Osinya, the baby, the lodged bullet in his head. What were some of the sentiments coming through?
I mean, from the moment we put that story online, there were demands of how can we help this baby.
Right.
That was, I think, that's one thing I love about Kenyans. Kenyans just love to help, because like all the comments we got on the story was, how can I help? Give me the dad's Facebook, give me the dad's phone number.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, within moments of giving out we had to get his consent first, but as soon as we gave out his phone number, the M-Pesa limit actually crashed. Like, guys just sent in all the money. And I also love the Standard Group, because the Standard Group has started a pay bill number. Yes. So now that we can not only donate to baby Osinya, because there are other people who are also injured as well. So yes, but Kenyans really wanted to help. But then there was a lot of anger as well, wondering who is this who would injure a 2-year-old baby and kill his mother. Yeah. Especially when I think KTN had a picture of the baby, and he was being carried by his brother, and he had a bloody t-shirt.
Yes, the Standard had that picture. Yes.
Oh, it was so sad. And then KTN ran one where he was like, Amma, he was still calling out for his mom.
Oh,
people
that was
cried.
Heartbreaking.
Actually, even some guys were saying, you know what, I'm tearing up, and I know I'm a man, I shouldn't cry.
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine this is happening.
Okay. And then there was also what went down over the weekend, Derek Omondi's Untamed. I don't know if you attended it. I remember seeing pictures. I was supposed to attend, but I couldn't make it. But Lupita lookalike, the whole shebang and dress.
Do you know, that's the saddest part of it.
You were?
I was deep. I don't know, I'm such a Lupita groupie. I love Lupita.
Yeah.
Back from, and I love the way she is. So when we hear, like, and Eric Omoni had gone to the part where he was actually giving his vote of thanks, thanking people. So, we knew the show had come to an end. And then he started, I want to really thank Anyang Nyong'o. And, all of a sudden we see all these guys in suits, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's Lupita. I'm telling you, those are scrambled to the front to take photos.
God.
Everyone with their phones trying to take photos of Lupita. Only to realize it's a Lupita lookalike. But I'm telling you, that girl looks so much like Lupita. It's scary.
I saw the pictures. And the dress she was wearing.
Yes.
She has short hair.
I know. The only thing is that she's, I think, quite a bit taller than Lupita. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that was a joke of the evening. It was better than all the others.
So everybody online, people were like, oh my gosh, I thought it was Lupita.
Yes, and then in addition to that, that time was Arsenal played some game and they were thwacked. Yeah. So guys were saying, 6-0. So I don't say, awesome. 1 pack, 6 pack at Arsenal.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm sure my Arsenal fans will not be too happy with that one. But finally, definitely that then would have been the best kept secret if in fact it was Lupita, for her to just show up on Eric's event. But finally, your words on both social networks and the platforms. Is it good to be on both, or do you say perhaps choose whichever you prefer and focus on that, or do you say, have both and have that experience and see how it works out for you?
I think it really depends on what you aim to do on social media.
Yeah.
If you're on social media, just catch up with your friends and find out what your friends are doing. Facebook is actually the best, because that's where it's really personal. You see their photos, you know what they liked, what they didn't like. But if you want to get like news, you want to get direct access to corporates that you're dealing with, maybe it's Kenya Power or whoever, if you want to get direct access to those ones, follow those guys and you can do that. But I think both of them are good because both of them give you different angles of a conversation. When you see a conversation on Facebook about a certain kind of, like for example, the baby Osinya story, the conversation on Facebook was quite different from the conversation on Twitter. And the other thing about Twitter that I like, it has a sense of universality. All of us are able to discuss something, whether or not we are friends, whether or not we know each other, but using a common hashtag, we're able to discuss that. Although Facebook has a hashtag functionality now, the level of conversation...
It has not yet caught on.
Yes, it has not yet caught on as much. So both of them are good because you get different angles of the same story.
Thank you for that analysis. Our expert on social media, Joy Chalagat, with us this morning. I find that early on when I joined Facebook, I used to be just agree to every friend request. Then I find that now I don't know most people, and so it's kind of strange because I don't know who I've been talking to, and I really want that my friends perhaps should open a different page or have...
That's what people do. A majority of my friends in the newsroom have 2 pages. One that...
Yeah, I think I should do that. Yeah.
Or the other option is you turn your Facebook account now into a page. The one that you have.
So you
turn
can
it,
do that?
Yes, you can convert it into a page, and then now what you can do is to start a completely different account altogether.
Then I'm going to come to you for some lessons. Thank you.
Yes.
We're glad you're watching Morning Express. When we come back, Friday chat and also a news update. Don't go away.